So welcome to all of you. For me, it's a bit a weird situation to be doing this from home, but it must also be a weird way of attending an open day at a university while not really meeting the people in person. So what we have for today as a program is I will give you an overview about the program. I will introduce or try to convince you why business economics at the University of Amsterdam is a great choice. We have students who will help us with telling their experiences, and we will go into some next steps. But before I move on, let's introduce the different speakers of today. So my name is Silvia Dominguez Martinez. I'm the program director of the Bachelor. I teach in the program and within also the master programs of the faculty. I like our team, so let's go for it. So we have Paula, she's our moderator and she's study advisor. Alain is also a study advisor.
Hello, here I am.
So we have two students participating, also helping us with their experiences. That is Jan and Jan.
Hello.
And Tisita.
Hello.
Yes, and we have Simon from admissions, who will answer all admissions. Yes, great, thank you. So we have a great team, and as Paula was already saying, we hope that we will be able to answer all your questions with this presentation. So please use the Q&A to start putting in questions that you already have, and I will go through the presentation now and tell you what the program is about. So what we have is we have a program where you in the first, so it's a normal bachelor program with 6 semesters, and the first 1.5 years you follow together, all of you, and then in the second year, the second semester, you choose how to specialize either in major of economics or the major in business economics. This is a nice feature about the program because at the beginning, when you start, often some of you might want to start or have decided to do economics and business economics because you had economics at high school. But you will see that there is a bit of difference with economics in university. So having the opportunity to follow some courses and postpone the choice between economics and business economics until the second year is a nice feature about the program, because you can start finding, so you can follow some courses, you can get acquainted with what you like, which courses are nice for you, what fits your skills, what would you like to do in the future. So this gives you the opportunity to really find out what courses are there and which ones fit better your interest, and make a more informed choice between the major economics and the major business economics. And I will say a bit more about the major economics and business economics in a minute. The other nice thing about this setup is that you also get a broad knowledge in fields of economics and business economics. This will be important in your future careers because you will have to work with people from many different fields in economics and business economics. So having a broad knowledge about accounting, finance, even if these are not the fields that you are interested in for your own studies, it's good to have this knowledge because it will improve your communication with other people in your organization. But how does the first year look like? So this would be the first year of our program. So in the first year, so the common setup of our program is that we have 2 semesters, and in total each semester has 3 periods. And the periods are as follows. So in period 1 and period 2 are large periods of 8 weeks, while period 3 is a small block of 4 weeks. And this is the same in both semesters. So in the large blocks, in the large periods of 8 weeks, you get content courses that are connected to economics. This is microeconomics and macroeconomics. You get courses that are related to business economics, which is financial accounting, economics of markets and organizations, and finance 1. And you get courses that are there to improve your analytical and statistical skills. And that's mathematics 1 and statistics 1. So before we started, I was already looking a bit in the Q&A and I saw some questions about mathematics. So this is not a mathematical study in the sense that you don't study mathematics on its own just for the sake of mathematics. So we use it to look into applications of economics. So it is an important element of our studies, and we will also therefore pay attention within the program. Does this mean that what happens if you are not so good in mathematics? Then it's very important whether you are interested at least in it. So if you have no interest in mathematics, then this might not be the right choice for you. If you like mathematics, then and you are willing to invest in it, and if you are good in mathematics, then this is a great choice for you. And we can come back to this during the Q&A. So what are the other courses that we have in the first year? So we have in the period 3, the short block, you get skill courses, where in the first semester you get trained in academic skills, and in the second semester you get trained in research skills. So you do your first own empirical study. What is interesting about the first year, or what distinguishes us from other studies, so if you might have followed other open days for economics and business economics, and then you see that the program is very similar in all. So all studies have to offer microeconomics and macroeconomics. All studies have to offer some form of business economics courses and mathematics and statistics. So there will not be so much variation. So what we have different from other studies is that already in the first period, we offer a course, Principles of Economics and Business 1, where you get exposed to guest speakers, so people that are active also outside of academia. So they give guest lectures, and apart from that, you also get the opportunities to start writing essays and be trained in this, which will be very important also for the future of the bachelor, but also in your future career. So writing concisely is something which is not so easy, and you get trained by these essays in this. Then, as I mentioned before, after the first semester of the second year, you choose your major, either economics or business economics. And well, the setup of the major of economics and business economics in the second semester of the second year is that you get courses that are more advanced, either in economics or in business economics. So this is how it looks like, but the courses are just follow-up courses of the more business economics or economics courses in the first year. And in the third year, you have basically you can choose. So the first semester, we offer you the option to choose what you want to do. And the options that you have is you can do an internship. So you can try out what it is to use the theory into practice. You might also want to study abroad. So we have a large variety of partner universities where you can take a semester. So you are exposed to a different culture, a different educational system, or you might do a minor. So a minor is a program that is designed and it fits one semester around a topic. And you can choose to do a minor very close to economics, for example, sustainability and economics, or some of our students choose something which is completely different just because they have very wide interests. So we had some students doing a minor in art history. So what I want to point out here is that the first semester of the third year, you can choose yourself, you can design your own program. Do what interests you and what you'd like to basically explore further in your bachelor. And in the second semester, you choose your specialization. So again, you make a choice for what you want to do. But what is it about? So we have two majors. So what I will do next is I will tell you something about the major in economics and something about the major in business economics. So I will start with the major in economics. So economics is about the use and alternative the allocation of scarce alternative resources. So what does this mean? So today you have decided to attend this open house, but that means that you cannot watch the television in the meantime. So you have scarce time, and you can only apply it in one way. And of course, with online, this might be a bit more easier to combine, but normally it means that you are doing one thing not so good. So so what we look in within economics is we either look at decisions of individuals, but also of countries and the implications of economic policy. And economics is always in the news. So when you open the newspaper, you always see news articles that are related to economics topics. So it is very relevant. And what I did is I included one example of an economics topic that would fit within the major of economics, and it's related to the Brexit. So the UK left the European Union at the beginning of the year. And this year is a transition year in which they still have to comply with the EU regulation. But at the end of the year, basically, the UK leaves, and then they are not part of the EU anymore, and they need not follow the regulation. So from an economics point of view, why is this interesting? So one of the elements of the European Union is that there is free trade between member states. So once the UK leaves the EU, then this free trade agreement doesn't hold anymore between these two countries, or the member state and the UK. So what happens then? So if there are no new trade agreements, what would happen in 2021? What would happen if you buy something at a UK-based web shop? Would you still pay the same price, or would you have to pay an import tariff, making your product more expensive? So why is this important when we think about economics? Because what they have investigated is that once the UK leaves, if there's not a good trade agreement, then the Netherlands would lose a lot of money, because many of the Dutch companies, they are selling their products to the UK. And while doing this, if there would be no trade agreement, the products would be more expensive for UK citizens, and these UK citizens might not want to buy them anymore. So if there is no good trade agreement, the EU member state, but mostly the Netherlands, would lose a lot of money just because these import tariffs might play a role. So this is why economics, or what economics looks at. So what would be the consequences of having bad trade agreements, or why should countries invest in getting a good trade agreement, as most important in this case for the Netherlands? But we also have another major, which is business economics. And business economics, what it does is it takes the economics toolkit and it uses it to explain decisions of firms. So it's about which investments to make, how to finance a firm, but also how to measure information and report the information that is available within the firm, and how should the organization of the firm be organized. So how should the firm be organized? We have three specializations within business economics, which is accounting and control, finance, and organizational economics. Basically, the three specializations are very similar. They are all looking at decisions of firms, but each from a slightly different angle. Again, so I decided not to move too much from topics. Business economics is always often in the news. And in this case, I also chose again the impact of Brexit, given that it is so much in the news recently and for the past few years. So why would Brexit be interesting from a business economics perspective? So when you think about business economics, you think about firm decisions. And one of the decisions that a firm has to make is where to locate. So these companies, there are many companies that are located in London, but have strong ties with the EU. So should they choose to stay in London or relocate to a EU member state? Or the other way around, some companies are located in the EU, but they have strong ties with London. Should they relocate? So the question is, where should companies locate after the Brexit is completely final? Well, what we see in these news articles is that Sony announced to move their European headquarters to Europe, so to Amsterdam. The main reason is that they wanted to avoid all the uncertainty that was connected to Brexit, and therefore already announced to be relocating to Amsterdam or to another European. So other countries decided to move to another European member state. However, if you look at multinationals, then most of these multinationals finally decided to move to London. And what was the reason for this? So the most recent decision was taken by Unilever, that now has decided to move the whole headquarters from to London. So what would be the choice for companies to locate there? And one of the choices for multinationals to locate in the UK, and mostly in London, is because this gives them better access to the financial markets there. It gives them a listing on the London Stock Exchange. And this is very important when you think about getting investors. And this is something that for the multinationals has become one of the reasons why to relocate to London. So main difference between economics and business economics is economics is mostly about individual decisions, country decisions. So it's very broad. You look into many types of decisions. So the main focus is on decisions where there is scarcity. Business economics uses this economics toolkit to explain decisions of firms. So, but what might interest you more is, okay, are the career perspectives good? And there I can tell you good news. So the career perspectives with a bachelor in economics and business economics are very good. So where do our students end up? So depending a bit on the specialization, they end up in government, so the non-profit sector, in banks and industry, mostly the students with a finance specialization, in consultancy. Many of our students end up in consultancy. Some of them start an own company, and a few try their luck at the university as a lecturer. So we can find our students are everywhere. So I listed some of the organizations. So think about the Dutch Central Bank, the other banks that are in the Netherlands, but also the consultancy firms like PricewaterhouseCoopers, EG, Deloitte. So think about any large company, they will need a good economist or business economist. So this study will give you access to great opportunities when it comes to career perspectives. So I hope that I gave you an overview about what you could expect. So what economics is, what business economics is, and what your career perspectives are. And I will now give the floor to Paula to tell you something about making the right choice. Paula, are you there? Okay, so let me then. I just got. So we have a bit of this is all new for us. So we have a bit of Zoom problems with some of our speakers. So let me do this part and basically introduce and give the word to our students. So Paula is our study advisor, and she will join in later to give a recap if the Zoom problems are solved. But we think that when making your choice, our students are the best source for what to expect. So I would want to use this opportunity to give Pisita the word to tell her experiences, and then Paula takes over. Okay, great. Thank you.
Does Paula want to add anything for now? No? Okay. So hello, everybody. Good evening, afternoon. My name is Pisita. I am a third-year economics and business economics student. Specifically, I am doing the business economics track and will hopefully specialize in finance. But at the moment, I'm doing my minor in business administration, managing strategy and marketing. I was born and raised in Indonesia, so yes, I'm a long way from home, but I'm thrilled to see that everybody is here today. Before I start, I think it would be useful if I talk a little bit about myself before my UvA days. So all my life, I've always known that I wanted to do something related to mathematics, or so I thought. So right after high school, I enrolled myself in a mathematics bachelor program, not at the UvA, but somewhere in the Netherlands. But not long after the year started, I realized that I do not actually want to do mathematics, but I simply like, and I can say I'm okay with mathematics. So I realized that I realized that the city I was studying at was simply too quiet. And since I grew up in Jakarta, where the city is very busy, I'm used to that whole busy situation, and the city was not giving me enough energy for me to keep going. Hence, my search for a better place to study began. At that point, I wanted to study either in Rotterdam or in Amsterdam, but I also knew that I wasn't really sure what I wanted to study. I just knew I wanted to go into this business economics industry. So at that point, for me, flexibility was a big deal. And then I read about the economics and business economics program at the UvA. And I really like that the program offers different tracks, like Silvia have already mentioned. And I'm currently doing the business economics track because I wanted to do something that is a little bigger than myself. Like I wanted to work in a multinational company. And I think by doing this track specifically, it will lead me there. It also gives me opportunity to pursue other things that I might be interested in during my third year. There are plenty of minor options. Obviously, there are internship and study abroad, but I chose to do a minor because I actually am very interested in marketing. Lastly, I think I also like that the program is filled with people from different places, and having discussion with so many different perspectives is an interesting challenge for me. Besides that, I think it's an important skill to master if you're planning on having an international career, which I will hopefully have. In general, I think I chose the UvA for its possibilities. Studying at the UvA allowed me to do more things outside my studies. For example, last year I was a part of the ISN Amsterdam, I was a part of the UNICEF student team Amsterdam, I was in the student panel, and I was also at CEFA Amsterdam. At the moment, I am still in the UNICEF student team, but I'm also a teaching assistant for a first year course. So who knows, maybe if one of you decided to start next year and I'm still a teaching assistant at UvA, maybe I will see you in class. One last thing to add, I think Amsterdam as a city and UvA is truly where cultures, aspiration, possibilities, and opportunities meet. And I think it is a very important thing to have. Now, don't get me wrong, the Bachelor is challenging, but you need to commit, stay organized, and do the work. But don't worry about it too much, because once you're in it, things seem to always fall right where they should be. And now Jan will take over and explain a little bit from his perspective.
Thank you, Pisita. So hello, everybody. My name is Jan. I'm from Slovakia. That's where I'm also currently calling from. So in case you hear me stutter, I apologize. It's most likely because of that. So I'll try to tell you a bit more about my current and past bachelor experience, just so you have a better idea with what to expect if you decide to apply. So for me, the Bachelor of Economics and Business Economics exhibits countless options and opportunities. What I mean by that, I mean that after your studies here, you can pick a future in one of many fields. So Pisita mentioned that she's interested in finance, for example, whereas I myself am currently trying to delve into consulting. I'm doing a few case studies and I'm trying to get an internship at a consulting company. And I have friends who, for example, followed after studying this program, they followed to a master's degree in in quantitative finance. Another friend has done economic development. Another friend has done macroeconomics. So there's really a variety of things that you can do afterwards. And that's possible because of the syllabus, as Silvia has outlined, because you get a great foundation for many things, such as finance, macroeconomics, microeconomics, and you understand how individuals and companies make choices, but you also get a great analytical foundation, and you understand how models work and just basically how to look at a problem more critically. And this is the characteristic of economics that enables it to go really well together with interdisciplinary courses. So what's great to broaden your horizons related to economics is to follow a minor. So currently I'm doing a minor in sustainability and economics. And in principle, we are trying to look at the current way or the current thinking and ideologies of economics a bit more critically. And we assess the damage that has been done to the environment, for example. So we're trying to rethink the way economics exists, basically, to create a more sustainable future for all of us. And this can be done by creating a circular economy, for example. If you've heard the term, it's really interesting. So if you're interested, then definitely you should look it up. But you could also do a minor in data science, for example, or international relations, if it's something to your liking. Another thing that greatly broadened my horizons at the UvA were events that were organized at the school and by the student associations there. So I remember career weeks and career days the best. So basically I would go and meet companies in person. I would meet companies like ING, Philips, some trading companies and so on. And I would find out what they're doing. We would be doing some case studies together to actually find out what is it exactly that I would be doing there if I decided to apply. And you get a great insight into how companies work in real life, because at school you learn mostly, or you could think about it as mostly the theoretical part, but this is where I would combine it in practice and see how actually the companies, what do they do. To tell you a bit more about the school itself and basically the academic side. So I think that we have very professional staff. So I'm really amazed by how great teachers and professors we actually have. So they have a lot of expertise. Many of the lecturers are doing their independent research at the university, which means that they actually understand what they're teaching very well. So if you ask them questions, they definitely know what they're talking about. And they have a very friendly and open approach. So they really encourage you to ask questions, be curious, and according to them, no question is stupid, which I think is a very important step in the learning process, because I think that many of us at one point or another feel insecure about our knowledge, and we think that we don't know enough, and we feel maybe more dumb than others. But yeah, if we keep thinking like that, we don't really learn. And we also have study and career advisors. So basically, if I was ever insecure about my future, if I didn't know what to pursue, what minor to choose, I could contact somebody at the university, and they would very greatly help me out and consult me. So when it comes to the workload that this bachelor requires, it's quite a lot, but regular work is encouraged because we have exams basically on a monthly basis in most of the courses. And because you're working regularly, you get used to a routine, and you're just not having, big loads of work at once. And that enables you to create a healthy regime. You have time to find a part-time job, for example, to do sports. I have done tutoring. I have even worked in a restaurant. I have had an internship in an NGO in Slovakia. It was possible, but you have to just stay organized and manage your time. And you're also probably wondering, how are we experiencing the online education right now? So of course there are drawbacks and benefits to it. Everybody knows that, and so do the teachers. So that's where they're trying to create, that's why they're trying to make the entire experience as interactive as possible, which means that questions are again even more encouraged, discussions are more encouraged. So the teachers are really wondering, how do we perceive the content that's being taught, that's taught. And during the seminars or tutorials, we're also doing case studies. So for example, during my circular economy class, we actually looked at specific companies and we tried to assess them based on some circularity parameters, which was really cool. We do simulations in class where, for example, we would simulate overfishing and why that happens, how can maybe it be solved. And we also have a lot of presentations right now. Basically, that's again to further encourage the workload. But of course, because everything is taught online, you're granted a lot of independence and responsibility. Yeah, and with that comes a lot of power. And of course, at times I would also get demotivated because it's easy to lose track of what I'm doing. But that's what I see. That's what I see as an important challenge of having school online, if it's the way you're going to be taught in the upcoming year or two, because you understand that you're learning not only to get good grades and to graduate with a degree, but you're learning mostly for yourself to actually become smarter, to have knowledge, because that's what's valuable. You're learning about something that you're passionate about, which is something not to be forgotten, and as well, it's something that makes you a valuable asset, and you can have great career perspectives for the future. So this would also be my piece of advice as the final remark for you. Just basically think about why are you doing things that you're doing. You're doing it mostly for yourself, not for anybody else. So, and I think Pisita has one more piece of advice for you. So I'll give the floor to her now.
Yes, if I can tell that 18-year-old self of mine before making the decision, I think I have two pieces of advice. First, take a deep breath and then make the decision, because deep down you know what it is that works best for you. Or you know yourself best. Then second, once you're in it, you have to commit, you have to stay organized, and then you have to do the work. And then with that, I'm sure you'll get wherever it is you want to be. And now I'm going to give the floor back to Paula.
Thank you, Pisita. I'm back. I'm sorry for having to leave you, unfortunately, to some Zoom problems, but I'm back, and I managed to listen to the inspiring stories of our students. So thank you for that. And I hope that helped you, our attendees, to get a better impression of how the student experiences are of this program, and also make sure that it's the right match for you. So now that you've heard from our very inspiring student and also our dedicated and very smart program director, let me sum up the advantages of studying at our faculty. First of all, maybe we can go to the next slide. First of all, we heard a lot, you heard about the content of the program. It is a challenging and interesting program, and it's definitely worth delving into that. Then you have the big advantage of our program is that you have the freedom to choose and make the program your own, like in the first semester of your third year, or also to choose topics for courses like Principle 1 that you really want to spend more time on. Then we have an excellent international reputation with a lot of, as Jan mentioned, a lot of highly skilled and fascinating teachers that you will get lessons from. And we have more than 90 different nationalities on campus, students and teachers. And this is in some actually a very inspiring educational environment that will prepare you in an excellent way for the international job market. And if this all sounds appealing to you, I would like to tell you a bit more about the next steps. The next steps are definitely to delve deeper into the program, explore our open house, where you can find a lot of information online, and also register for the next week. Starting from next week, you can register for the online experience day on December 1st and December 3rd. And there you can experience firsthand how education looks like at our faculty by following a lecture and a seminar online. You can see, you can get a better impression. I already saw that question in the Q&A. How can you see if it's a good fit? The online experience days are basically actually the way to find out if the program is the right match for you. So I would highly encourage you to attend those. And I will be sharing some links in a minute also for the open house in the chat that you can use to register for the experience day. And then also very important, apply on time for the program. The deadline is before 1st of May and before before 1st of April. And let me conclude by saying we very much hope to see as many as possible again in September 2021. That was it from the presentation part. We will now go over to the Q&A part. And I already saw some of the questions. You posted many questions, which is really nice for us. Let me start off with the ones, as promised, that got the most likes, which is what is the main difference between business administration and this study? Is it the level of math? I think, Silvia, you can answer that one.
Yes, and I even have slides.
Yes, well prepared, as always.
Well, okay. So in principle, in terms of questions that are addressed, they address similar questions. So in the end, it's about business problems that are being addressed. So when it comes to business administration, it's much more multidisciplinary. So it's broader. It looks at business problems from very different perspectives. When it comes to business economics, you get trained really from an economics perspective, which is much more analytical and much more empirically oriented. So there is like the difference indeed in mathematics is there. So I do think, so in terms of problems that are addressed, they are very similar. But when it comes to choices later on in terms of career perspectives, some jobs require or they like better the analytical type of persons, while other jobs like better the people that have a more broad education. So in that sense, it's what fits best your taste. So if you like more like the broad approach where you look at it from very different perspectives, then business administration might be a better choice. If you like really the more focused approach from economics that also trains very much in analytical and thinking analytically, then business economics would be a better choice.
Thank you for that. We have another question, and I would suggest maybe one of our students can answer that. How large are the classes and how many hours of class do you have per week?
Okay, in general, usually we do 2 courses per block. So each courses usually have 2 lectures, one in the beginning of the week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and then another one either on Thursday or Friday as a closing and feedback lecture. And then once a week we have and the lectures are bigger with, I think around 200 people usually in this program. And then once a week we have a class with 40 other students and 1 teacher where it's usually we discuss the assignments or stuff like that. And also during that smaller classes, we get one-on-one access with the teacher. So then we can ask our questions further. Yeah.
Thank you. That gave a really good impression, I think, from a student perspective. Thank you for that. We have another question. Maybe Simon from admissions can answer that. Is there an extra math test required to enter?
Well, this really depends on your previous education and where it is from. So I would advise you to refer to the diploma calculator I've linked in the chat. Here it's also mentioned whether you need to sit for an extra mathematics test with your diploma.
Thank you. Very good answer. And you can find the link in the chat on top. Then we have another.
I'll send it again.
Oh yeah, perfect. So it's on the bottom. Thank you for that. We have another question from Sophia. Is this the ideal path forward to study international relations in the future? Maybe Silvia or Ella want to say something about that?
I can say something.
Yes, thank you.
So I think that when it comes to international relations, there are many ways to go because it's really like a much broader master. I do think that you would have like a very good input from an economics perspective. So if you are interested in international relations, then probably the major economics would be the best fitting one. But it is much broader when it comes to international relations. But if you like the combination, then there are also minors related to these type of topics where you could spend part of your bachelor doing these minor. So let's say this 30 credits that you can fill yourself. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that. We have another question. Let me see. About the application process. Is the motivation letter mandatory in the application process? Simon, can you respond to that?
Well, yes, we do ask for a motivation letter. So you will have to write one for your application.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you. So we got that one answered. Then we have another question from Oscar. What is the ratio of international students to students from the Netherlands? I think Allah probably knows the percentages to that, right?
Yes, I do. I answered the question. I think it's about 40% international students, 60% Dutch students, but it can vary a bit every year, but that's about the ratio. Yeah.
Thank you. We have another question from Alexia. Is there a chance to maybe watch an example of an economics class in order to see if we like the subject? Yes. That was actually what I mentioned with the next steps at the end. So there is the chance to attend the experience days, and you can maybe one of my colleagues, or otherwise I would do it in a minute, but you can attend them by registering via the open house. And yeah, it's a really good chance to attend a lecture and a seminar to see if you if it's the right match for you. Then we have another question by Artemi. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Is it possible to choose entrepreneurship as a minor? Yes, it is possible actually. We have the minor entrepreneurship at our faculty, and you can do that in the third year, the first semester of your third year. I see another question here about the Open Experience Day. You can register for that starting from next year, and there's a link on the open house where you can click on, and it says keep me informed, and then you will get an update as soon as you can register. Another question for Simon. What are the application deadlines, early and late? Oh, you're still on mute, Simon.
Yeah, I was looking for the button. Well, we don't have an early application deadline. The important deadlines are the 1st of February, I believe, for scholarships, the 1st of April for non-EU students, due to immigration and housing deadlines, and the 1st of May for EU students. This includes Dutch students as well.
Thank you. The next question, what should be the extent of the motivational letter? Is it around 4,000 characters like in England? Simon, that's for you again.
Yeah, I was actually typing the answer. No, we require a short letter, no more than 300 words.
Okay, perfect.
It's different from an essay.
Yes, thank you for that. Let me see the entrepreneurship we have. Oh yes, this one is also a good one. If I choose a major business economics, will I still get classes about economics? I could answer that, but I will give it to Silvia, I think, because it was part of the presentation.
Yeah, so in principle, so business economics is an application of economics to business problems. So there are some specializations which are more closely related to economics than others. So there will be some classes which, so I'm not sure what you mean exactly with classes related to economics. So in the end, everything is related to economics. So there will be some classes that are more economical than others, but you will get mostly business economics courses as of the second block of the year. I saw also one, and let me already answer that one, that asks about if I want to do economics, do I also have to do business economics then in the first time? So yes, it is like economics and business economics. So the foundation is like broad, but that will be in any economics and business economics bachelor. We think it is important that you learn something about business economics, even if you are doing economics. We think it's important that you learn economics, even if you are choosing to major in business economics. And this will turn out to be very important also in the future, and you will notice this.
Thank you for that. We have some more questions about the admissions criteria, also how the admission process, how long it actually exactly takes. Simon, maybe you can give a very short answer to that, how long it takes to get a decision.
We strive to communicate the decision in 2 to 3 weeks, but depending how long it takes also relates to when you apply. If you apply close to the deadline, like most students do, it takes longer for us to evaluate your application. But if, say, you would apply today, when we don't have a lot of applicants yet, then the admissions procedure time will take a lot shorter. But we strive to get you an answer within 3 weeks' time.
Yes, great. Thank you for that. That's very clear. And then we have another question about mathematics. Can we major in mathematics along with economics? It's not possible to choose mathematics as a major in this program, but if you want to do a second bachelor program and study mathematics, you can, of course, choose to do that at a Science Park faculty. It's another faculty. And then another question, oh yeah, how are the job prospects as an international student who does not speak Dutch?
Shall I take that one?
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, so what is a great benefit of being in Amsterdam is that Amsterdam is very international. So many of the companies that are installed here are internationally oriented. In general, there are like some international students that indicate that sometimes it is like a bit more difficult to get into the process, but our faculty study association offers quite a bit like of these more career events where you can already get to know companies, and then it's much easier to get acquainted with each other, to get to know each other. So that would be, I think, so if you are really interested in staying in the Netherlands, I think Amsterdam is a good place to be, because everything is international here. Many people, everyone speaks English, and it's very an international environment. And if you also want to think about staying and working here, then also be active in attending career events and trying to profile yourself in this market. So I think it is possible, but some companies still require Dutch as a requirement. So that's.
Thank you for that. We have another question. Is it, and we got a question before about can you do 2 bachelor programs, and now a follow-up question, is there opportunity to do business analytics and economics and business economics? Depends, of course, if you fulfill the entry requirement for both studies. But in general, when combining 2 bachelor studies, we usually, as study advisors, recommend to students to first start focus on one study and do the first year of complete the first year for, let's say, economics and business economics, and then start the second study in the second year. So you have, that's because of the binding study advice, the requirements that you need to pass your first year, you need to pass 48 credits. So it's good to combine it in a way that you don't have 2 first years at the same time, basically. We have a couple of more questions about admissions, but time-wise, I think it's good for the specific admissions question if you check the link that Simon posted in the chat. And let me see, maybe we have time for a couple of more questions. This is English requirement. Maybe this as the last one. I heard that you guys have a 4% acceptance rate. So what scores do you need to be to get into the program? For Simon, I think again.
Which question is this?
About the acceptance rate, that there's they are worried that they might not get into the program.
Oh, that sounds like fairly low for this bachelor's program. Generally, as long as you meet the entry requirements as they're stated in the diploma calculator, you'll be accepted. Sometimes you'll need to make an extra mathematics test. If you pass the test, which means get a 60 out of 100, you will also be accepted. The Dutch system is focused a lot, educational system, about giving people a shot in the first year, but we do have a fairly high drop-off in the first year. Or well, we do have a drop-off in the first year.
Thank you for that. Just for all attendees, I posted some links in the chat with general information about the admissions and the open house. And the open house is the link that you also need to keep you informed about the experience day when you want to see if the program is the right match in December to attend classes online. So you can use that link to register, because I still saw a couple of questions coming up about that. And an overview of the program you can also find on the program page, actually. I think now it's a good time to end, because we are already almost ran out of time, but I hope you enjoyed the session, and we were very happy to have you all here. And maybe Silvia, do you want to say some concluding words?
Yes, I was muted. I always have to look for. So yeah, I wish you good luck with making the choice. But if you like the topics, then I think it's a great program to attend. So we made sure that the program really trains you well in economics and business economics. We know from experience that career-wise, the employers are very happy to have our students, but also when we look at follow-up masters, we have students in many also good other European institutions like LSE, which is one of the top universities in Europe. So it gives a lot of prospects if you want to stay in the Netherlands, but also if you want to move on to a master elsewhere. So I wish you good luck. And if you decide for economics and business economics, then I hope to see you in September 2021, and hopefully offline, on campus, in person, which is something I like better than online. So good luck with the choice. And yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.